Back to business here. Today we'll talk about breaking out of pentatonic prison. That is, how do you just stick to 5 notes, pentatonic scale, and don't use up all your licks and burn through your licks in about 2 minutes? Well, there's 2 things to do. One is to simply just take a few notes and vary these things, you know. The other is to simply take several notes like these and just throw them up an octave. First of all, varying the notes. We'll deal with interval containers, what I'm calling interval containers. An interval container is simply where you take a certain interval, your choice. In this case, I'll use a fifth. And that is a little handhold, the boundaries. That's a container, a bucket. In this enclosure, you can add a note, A flat. Very few notes. It already sounds kind of interesting. You can add 2 notes. And you work with that. Let's take one of my favorites, the 7th. Here's an octave, come down 1 note. You have a container, a bucket, an enclosure of a 7th. You can add 2 notes. You can add 5 if you want, or add just 2, or add 1. There's the 1 note and the 2, you know. Now, how would you vary these? Let's get down to business with that. Well, you could take all 4 notes in my interval container here and run 4 notes in a row, followed by the top 3, followed by the top 2, followed by the top 3, followed by the top 4. You get sort of a little pulsating kind of rhythm here. Okay, or and on and on and on. So let's go to another interval container now. Let's do the full meal deal, the entire interval container. Well, I'll take the top 2, top 4, then 2, and 3, 3, 2, see, 2, 4, 2, 3, and so forth. And you get this brings us down here, another full meal deal, right? So you can sort of work this thing and just think in terms of a kind of arithmetic. Okay, sort of in context. You're sort of all over the place. Okay, it's a non-intellectual thing, really. A tactile sense of these various numbers. 2, 3, 4. Now the second aspect of this is simply to take any interval container you might be on and just transpose it up an octave. Travel across the piano. You may say, I can't do that. I can't jump this fast. Right? Kind of hard to get there. And besides, thumb is always hard to get on a black note. Well, if that's a problem, then let's raise the ante. Instead of traveling 1 octave, like E flat, D flat, let's lower the right hand 2 octaves from our destination. See, it's not that hard. How about 3? Didn't quite make that one. I I did that time. So if you can do 3 octaves or 2 octaves, come on, how hard can it be to go or anything you want to do? This will make you sound smarter than you actually are, which probably explains how I got away with so much over the years. Okay, so now we've got some rhythms happening. And some of these things are more innocuous than you might suspect. I always like taking an octave. Take the top note from the octave. It gets you outside of yourself. The game here is to not improve what you have, guys, but to transcend where you are, where after this video is over, even if you haven't touched the piano yet, to be a different person. And then you become a new person and you're doing things you think you can't do, like jump several octaves. Okay, now, the next thing will be a payoff, the next video. We'll talk about escaping from major 7th hell. We've been dealing with E flat minor. Let's go to E minor. Okay, now it's all white notes, harder to see. E minor is really 3/4 of a C major 7th chord. It's very difficult, if you like the blues, to jam blues on a C major 7th chord. Sounds absurd, but now you can. Just jam on E minor blues, E minor pentatonic, using all the things we talked about. Good, that's E minor. Let's just get rid of the E bass note. Make it C. Now we should see a C major 7th. Just play all this pentatonic stuff, E minor in this case, on a C.